I had like a minor breakdown and it wasn't cute, I remember just rushing and like going to the bathroom because I could literally feel a flood of tears just about to fall. So whenever I feel like my heart is heavy, I will just cry and pray, and then I'll just believe, Hori, now I'm fine.
Lately, I've just been in survival mode, showing up as the best version of myself, but deep within, I'm masking all the pain. I was going down today. Like, it's not mixture.
I actually do remember.
And I think you remember the conversation.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, umoya wa muphansi. Welcome to More Conversations with your host, Omphile Keisho. I'm not alone. I'm with
Mpho Manganye, and I'm the next victim.
Clock it. Today's conversation will be about the struggles of saying you're okay when you're not okay. So, gal, I know in every podcast, you always ask me, how are you? Today's conversation, I want us to start it by asking, within your heart, unjani?
Like, it's two-sided, hey? There's a part of me that is like really, really grateful, no cap. And then there's this other part of me that sort of feels betrayed and like that part, high sharp. But yeah, I mean, get life.
Good life, ne?
Yeah, how are you?
When it comes to me, I think I've got mixed emotions,
Yeah.
I've got my days of being okay, my days of feeling lonely. Sometimes I'm just in my head. Days of today ki happy ki jolly, on. But lately, it's just been mixed emotions, I know we said today's topic is going to be about mental health, but lately it's just mixed emotions, Shem. I don't want to lie.
Right. And what do you think right now, like at this moment, has been like a major contribution to your mental health?
I think the environments that I step into have been one of the major factors. Sometimes you're feeding off people's energy. Sometimes you just want to be alone, but there's not enough room to accommodating the type of things you want. So lately it's just been the type of environments that I've been. And what's been your contributing factors in how you've been feeling lately?
I think because most of my life at this moment has been sort of centered around work, that has been like the major contribution to like my mental health, whether good or bad, because some days I'm like very happy, like, can't take that from me. And then some days I'm just like, I'm really struggling to breathe. And the main thing that has been contributing is where I'm at. Like I spend most of my time at work. So as you say, the environment has been a major contribution. It has been like that for me as well. And even the work itself has I feel like it has taken a toll on me, because I remember like Friday I had like a minor breakdown and it wasn't cute, I remember just rushing and like going to the bathroom because I could literally feel a flood of tears just about to fall, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. And then I quickly just ran into the shower and I shed a tear or two, and then after that I was just like, I'm okay. And I think that's really what I appreciate about myself right now, that when I feel I'm not okay, I feel it then, and then do what like feels right in my body and in my spirit and in the moment, and then I'm able to move on. So even after like I shed a tear or two in the shower, when I stepped out, I was okay. I was feeling okay, and then I was able to continue with life. So yeah, I guess the environment hasn't been like as great when it comes to my mental health, but as I said, the other part of me is just so grateful. Like life high bad, like I'm good. I really don't want to lie to you. My mental health, like I'm sharp, man. Sharp. And then for you, like as I'm speaking, something crossed my mind, and it literally just like posed as a question that I wanted to ask you, Hori. How has your mental health changed from maybe like high school or to now, where you are now, seeing that you mentioned, Hore, the environment has been a major contribution, to your mental health. This environment, as opposed to maybe being at home and coming here, like commuting or whatever, and even at school, how do you feel that has changed?
When it comes to school, it's changed in a way where, at school it's social life, we're laughing every day, it's different challenges and stuff like that. So when it comes to the environment right now, it's a bit challenging because it's an environment that requires maturity. It's an environment that requires you to step out of your emotions because you're dealing with clients every day. It's not every day, or there's never room for you to break down in front of a client. You just need to keep it all in and smile through the pain, There's now that we speak about this, I think lately I've just been in survival mode, showing up as the best version of myself, but deep within, I'm masking all the pain. I'm holding it all in, all together, but it's just like, I cannot. But then if I cannot right now, when will I be able to, go through the tunnels and the challenges of life? So right now, I just say, I'm in survival mode. The environment is different from how it was back then in terms of high school. Right now, it's like, in high school when they used to be like, you're gonna step into the real world when you go to
like
uni.
you've stepped into
I
it
feel
now.
like I'm in it. I'm in it, and now it's a matter of what then? What do I do now that I'm in this situation? So now, when you speak about moments of crying in the shower and stuff like that, I relate, because it's like if I want a swimming pool, the shower is right next to me. And sometimes you come out of the shower and you're just like, already, but one would just be like, it's deep,
Yeah.
Get action from the water, but
Yeah.
there's no water, like your coping mechanism.
Cool.
So, and it's not a healthy thing, but it's what does one do when you in that situation?
So what space do you feel like needs to be created for you to be able to like tap in those emotions, not visit them like in the shower or whatnot? Do you feel like maybe you need more time alone? You need to like focus more on self-care activities? What do you feel like you need to change or needs to be changed just around you?
What I feel like needs to be changed is the self-care part. There's moments when I'll go and you don't care about anything. Like, how you show up is just like, hey, why you are? Where the wind blows, why you are. So I think I lack the self-care more than anything. There were times where I wouldn't do my hair maintenance. I was just like, what's the point? I'm just doing this life thing every day. So I feel like the self-care part is one of the changes that I can do more often, like going out, those solo dates. I struggle when it comes to solo dates. Like, ataba, So
Why?
I could say, like, maybe upstairs. Maybe, maybe I'm that toxic person that
You
doesn't.
are.
Darling.
No, because I feel like solo dates are such an in thing now that someone seeing you out, they I don't think they would necessarily think like it's not taking. I just feel like now it's a very common thing that people do, that like you go out, but also more than that, like outside of that, why does it matter?
I think I live in the syndrome of Batho ba tla reng. What are people gonna say?
You really do, ne?
Yeah,
And I feel like that's like so unhealthy.
nah.
Yeah, like just for you personally, I had a question in my mind that I wanted to ask. Oh wait, so I'm trying to find the words to like structure this question so that it also makes sense. Hori, yes, now we speak about mental health, and I feel like at this point in time, mental health, like the topic of mental health, has been so romanticized too much. But that's a topic for another day. But when do you feel like the concept of mental health was introduced to you, where you started understanding what it means?
Within the working environment, the working
Really?
space, that's where I understood hore, mental health. Awa. Asijona. Like, that part is so different. Back then you'd have maybe, let's say, friendship breakups, but then dealing with that was fine. Like you could say about it and say
You wouldn't
sorry.
even take it as a friendship breakup. It would really just be like things happen.
It is what it is. Like, but like in such environments, it's like the fakeness. How real are we to one another? Are we really okay when you say good morning? How are you? I'm good. Or are we just saying you're okay for the sake of passing the conversation? Do we really tap into one's well-being, or it's just, hey, let's do the work and get it done?
Let's bring it like closer now, so that like we don't generalize. Seeing that like you and I personally, we spend a lot of time together. What contribution do you think we have on each other's mental health?
A good contribution. We're always laughing. Girl. We're masking the pain through laughs.
No,
We are
that's
each
the
other's
thing.
coping mechanism ya rona is me and you. That for sure. Guaranteed. You cannot say otherwise, my dear.
That's the thing. Ne? Valid, Hori. Yes, we do help, like in the sense of maybe not always focusing on the fact that, oh, I'm not okay, oh, I'm not like feeling my best. But do you think that in and amongst ourselves, we've created like a safe space for each other to be able to say, maybe even on a good day, but then something happens and I'm not feeling my best, I can't even laugh at a joke. Do you think we've created like a safe space whereby I would be able to come to you, or not even come to you, like just open up and be like, hey girl, like I'm not okay.
I
Like
believe we
even
have.
without a joke.
I believe we have, especially you remember the time when I texted you on WhatsApp because we couldn't see each other close range. We go ahead, obviously, good clients. So then I was like, oh, girl, it's going down today. Like, it's not make sure.
I actually do remember.
And I think you remember the conversation.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, umoya wa mupanzi. If I was a singer, I would be singing that song. But we have actually created such a space between the both of us where we trust each other to that point. And we have a way of hiding it to the public, you know?
Right.
Got that thing of Ragoan.
And then 10
but Tom
o'clock,
and Jess is
10
about to be. We know we're waiting for 5 o'clock. So we have definitely created that space, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I really do
those
appreciate it
moments.
as well.
And yeah.
And then how do you think that we could like continue to nurture that, seeing that like it's not always in every relationship where you would find a safe space to be able to just wear your emotions like on your sleeve. Hore, when you're not okay, you know, Guti, you can text me. Yes, I'll make a joke about it, but you know, hore, the joke will come like 5 minutes later. And within that 5 minutes, I'm really caring for you. I'm taking up space and I'm showing up for you in the ways that I feel like I need to. But then has there been a moment whereby you've sort of like needed me to show up for you and I showed up? Maybe in my mind I'm thinking this is the best, but to you it was kind of like I needed you to show up differently than you did.
There were some moments, but in those moments I felt like it should come from my end in terms of being there for myself. I can't expect you to pour in my cup and I'm not bringing myself to the party self, you understand?
Okay, valid.
So it was moments of, am I really going to need someone to give me that push, or am I going to push myself? Am I going to be too dependent on the next person instead of my own energies?
Oh.
And have you had moments where you felt like, this girl is not showing up for me? Oops, can you joke? As per usual, that's the only therapy I can offer.
No,
I'm not
man.
a motivational speaker. I try with my jokes, you know?
Really, like, for me, man, I've been okay. As I don't want to lie to you. For the most part of it, the things that have been making me unwell are the things that are making you unwell. So whenever we speak about it, I feel like that's enough therapy just to know how you're feeling about the things that like are making me feel somehow. So just for us to be in a moment whereby we're exchanging words, because you know how like we'll end every conversation sometimes with, you know, just assuring each other, "Hore Modimo ke star, o phala baloi." Just that sometimes is enough therapy. So I can't say that there's been moments where I've expected you to show up and you didn't show up, because when I need you to show up, it's really because something is happening within the space. But I know that if it's treating me this way, I know that it's treating you that exact same way. So I know that we are broken in that moment together. So just us sharing how we feel about it is enough just to know that, okay, I'm not crazy for feeling this way. I guess you feeling that way validates what I'm feeling in the moment, and that makes it 10 times better. So I mean, for the most part, you've showed up like how I've needed you to. In other aspects of my life, gosh, my life has been great. I've been okay. Like I've been doing great. So now I haven't been needing much showing up to a point where I'm like, I feel betrayed, or I feel like, you know, I'm being robbed by you or whatever. Go on.
Have you had moments where you felt like you tapping out of reality? Like maybe you in your mind so much that you don't even realize that actually this is what's happening around me.
Yeah, like, you know how we always say that even on a bad day, I'm such a crybaby. I don't know why I feel like there's tears loading.
2 minutes. It is a sensitive topic, you know?
So, you know how like we always say that, like whenever we're having a bad day, and then we'll have moments where we're like, you know what, just do your work as if you're working unto the Lord, right? So I get those moments where I overexert myself in situations because I'm in my head. And in my head, I'm just so grateful to God, you know, for the job I have, for like the relationships I have, you included, you know, so much so that in my mind, I may be doing too much. and at my expense. And, I've had this realization now, like most recently, where I found myself sleeping like at 1 a.m., doing something that I wasn't supposed to be doing at the time. But I was too much in my head that I didn't take the time to realize that I'm not in reality, because reality would be you have to sleep. In my head, I'm just like, I am being committed. In my head, I'm being loyal. And then in my head, I am working unto the Lord, and this is the best way I can show up to show my gratitude also for the blessing that I've been praying for. So that was also like such a huge shock in my heart to be like, hey, Wena, wake up. This is like reality. You're not supposed to be doing this, because sometimes, people don't receive the things that you offer in the ways and with the intentions that you offer to them. So sometimes we find ourselves being played because we overexert ourselves. And for me, I've been feeling that, Hori, I show up too much, more than I should. And the excuse in my head is that I'm doing it as if I'm doing it unto the Lord.
I feel like lately I relate to what you're saying, because I feel like I've been in my head so much that I don't connect with the reality that's happening around me.
Yes, like things would hurt you and you would just be like,
peace to me, like
I'm
it is
okay,
what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not healthy, thugging things out. I know one of my toxic traits is I thug things out. Like,
Bro,
I'm just like,
to the core.
it is what it is. We'll cross the bridge when you get there. Those
Right.
type of things. So when I say I'm in my head so much, is I often have conversations alone, and I'm always like thinking about, like, am I okay? Are the things I'm doing making me happy day to day? There's moments where I even forget things like checking up on my friends, like those phone calls, my mom. It's the late moments where I'm like, actually, I last said good morning, got 8. It's now currently 9 o'clock. The whole day of no communication. Am I wrong for doing what I'm doing? So it's moments of, sometimes I find myself not being able to connect to my loved ones because I'm always in my head. So it does, mental health does to some extent affect one. You find things like you now left, you start falling into depression without actually realizing that actually I'm depressed. Those moments of loneliness where you just want to be alone. You don't want to talk to anyone. You don't want to answer anyone's call. You don't want to text anyone back. It's those moments, like back then in high school, I don't know if the viewers can relate. We had that thing of, you just vanish from WhatsApp. Read receipts, so your blue ticks would be off. And then it's just like, ghosting, profile picture. Later I'm realizing, man, it comes with growth, Now you're able to leave your profile picture on, your blue ticks stay on. Well, this is based on my perspective. Like,
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I haven't thought to turn on my blue receipts.
I don't know. Maybe
My
it's just like
I haven't.
Your blue ticks are off, Lala.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Switching
It
them
comes with maturity. I'm like, maybe I'm not maturing because
Maybe I live in my own world.
it doesn't cross my mind. Even my last scene, nothing.
I just know with my one friend, Justine, I thought my blue ticks because she's not social like that. I go, and then the profile picture
Disappears.
She'll start deactivating her Instagram account. But yeah, it's just those moments of realization where you realize, oh yeah, no,
Life
no pila fela,
And then right now, like at this point, are you happy?
I think 60% of myself is happy, 40% is unhappy. And now I'm at a point where I'm trying to figure out, what do I do with the 40% of not being happy?
That would be like my next question, Hore. What are your plans to up the scale?
I haven't thought about it deeply, but I think it would be changing my environment, going out a lot, instead of being that sleeping person 24/7. Every weekend I just want to sleep. I now start feeling as if it's fades, and I'm still young, but I want because you have retired. So I think my 40% is now
comes from your social life,
traveling, enjoying those moments. I want to practice solo dates more often now.
No, try them. I okay, not that like at first I've always loved the concept of solo dates, and then the only reason why I wasn't going out was that like I wasn't working, so I couldn't afford to go out. I could afford to buy myself nice things, but like the going outs that I wanted to do, I couldn't afford. So the first time I did that was this year on my birthday. I remember I had bought myself a new book, and then I went out, I dressed up, I did my makeup, and I went out to eat. And then I later went to go buy like cake, like birthday cake for my family. And when I went back home later that evening, I was so happy. Like for me, it's a thing of I enjoy spending most time like with myself as opposed to being with people. So whenever I do things that I can do by myself, I'm always the happiest. So the solo dates thingy, it was such a great idea. I was able to write down my thoughts, and even like to say, Hore, we're always focused like on work and stuff. It took me some, like now I have to be intentional to access my thoughts, to get to tap into my thoughts and try to understand what I'm thinking about certain things, because during the week I'm literally just thinking about work, 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 work. And then whenever I get the time to be by myself, I have to sit and be like, okay, now we're accessing the mind. What are your thoughts? What have you been thinking? And I don't feel like that's nice, because Ishman,
Do you sometimes feel as though you being a burden to someone else when you want to maybe vent about not being okay?
I never feel like I need to vent. I don't want to lie to you. I never feel like I need to vent. And I don't know if that is healthy or not, but when I'm not okay, sometimes, and I don't even thug it out like that. I literally just pray and then I cry, and then that's enough venting for myself. I feel like for the past couple of years, like high school and then varsity, I was too depressed that I always needed to vent, so much so that it makes me cringe. The thought of wanting to vent to someone makes me cringe. Like it's so exhausting constantly dealing with someone who's always not okay. So now I'm always like watchful to say that I do not want to not be okay. So whenever I feel like my heart is heavy, I will just cry and pray, and then I'll just believe, Hori, now I'm fine. And then if I'm not fine, then hey man, I'll just leave. I get up when I'll sleep and then wake up and then I'm okay. And I don't know if that is healthy or not, but it's been working for the most part of it. Like I feel like when you start shifting your dependence on people being your ear to God, then you realize that some things you don't have to worry so much about them. And one scripture that carries me whenever like I know, Hori, my heart is heavy, is Matthew 11 verse 28, when it says, come to me all you who are heavy burdened. So whenever I feel like my heart is heavy, I literally just pray. And even when I don't have the words, I just go to God and I quote that scripture and I be like, I'm heavy burdened. You know my heart. I don't know what's going on. And if it needs me to cry, if in that situation I feel like crying, I will just cry. And then I know one thing for sure, I will want to have chocolates. I'll have chocolates and then I'll just feel a lot lighter. And sometimes I love writing. Sometimes I'll just be writing and then I'll be reading. And then the next thing I know it, I'm feeling a lot lighter. So I don't get that feeling, oh, I'm being a burden, because I never really try to go to someone to vent. And do you ever feel like you need to vent, but then you hold back because you're like, oh,
When it comes to the part of feeling as if I'm burdening someone else, I think I've suppressed my emotions for the longest, that the point that I'm at allows me to, offload relationship-wise. I'm sure love is such a beautiful thing, Like he makes sure, Jorge, are you okay? He gets those emotions out of
That's
me.
nice.
And also my one friend who does make sure that she shows up. I know in the past, I'd be like, Chumikisha, buena ujang. And it would hurt her. She can see I'm not okay. She does see that I'm not okay. But it's that thing of where can she help? And lately, like last week, we had a conversation where we now want to show up for each other. We're going to start treating each other like sisters. Our friendship has grown to that point where now we see each other as sisters. So she's like, friend, we don't live far from each other anymore. We need to make sure that we meet up, at least if it's twice a month, once a month. He showed me, I don't like where our friendship is going. You're now a sister to me and stuff like that. So I think right now, I don't feel like if I'm to offload onto someone, it's me being a burden, because I do it occasionally. So it's like now I'm given the space to.
It's nice, like when you, like amongst the relationships that you have, when those relationships create space for you to be able to open up without feeling like you're a burden, because it can happen. Like it happens when you're like you hold back because you're like, oh, that's like njalo mina nyakhala, njalo mina nyakhala. But it's so beautiful that you have like a circle whereby you know would see, even if it were to happen like days in a row, they would be able to open up and cater for you. So it's so beautiful, and shout out to those people, man.
Shout out to them.
You know, see, for me, the reason why I don't need to vent is because there's no one to vent to. So you, my sister, we literally do not take even ourselves seriously. And not to say I'm hiding things, because I feel like we don't take things seriously. I feel like different people serve different purposes in your life. Not everyone that is in your life can serve a purpose of, you know, being able to vent to them. Like there's friends that are for nice time, there's friends that are for venting, there's friends that are for this and friends that are for that. So I can't expect the relationship or the friendship that we have to cater for all of my needs. You know, it's enough that like when things are hard, you and I will be laughing. And that's enough healing. That's fine.
Mpho, don't you think we should go buy our comfort?
You know, and that's enough. Like that's a role that you play in my life, and that's a role that I appreciate it and I value it. It doesn't mean it's just because I can't vent to you, I take our relationship less seriously. No, I take it very seriously because it shows up in the way that it shows up, and it shows up in its full capacity. And that for me is bliss, you know. And then I don't know at which point in life where there's gonna be love is a beautiful
thing. Hey, confession 101.
I'm saying I don't. You see, as you were saying, Jorge, your relationship has been cultivated to be able to accommodate your emotions in that sense. I'm saying, Jorge, I'm yet to see. You know, I have no expectations on people. That's what I'm trying to say. That do not exaggerate your purpose in people, like in someone else's life, because the moment you do that, it raises your expectations, and then disappointment is major. And I don't deal with disappointment. So I don't want to be disappointed, and not to say that I disregard the people that are in my life, but I'm just saying that the space hasn't been created, and maybe the space has been created, but the need from my side hasn't been there for me to need to vent. I haven't needed to vent. So maybe that is why I feel like I haven't had anyone that I can vent to. But then other than that, I also have like my little sister, where she's young, she's like 10 years younger than me. She is a safe space, but sometimes, you know, some things I can't share with her because there's a part of me that still wants to protect her innocence, that she's still so young. I don't want to burden her with my emotions, because the things that sometimes I go through are heavy even for me. So, you know, for her, it would be so unfair for me to expect her to be that safe space. But other than that, she's also that one person that when I need an assurance like of love, I know that she will assure me, she will validate me, and not to say that like it's coming from a place of insecurity. But those moments where I have moments where I feel like I'm so lonely, I'm so alone, it happens often. That's my one thing whereby I get copy, you know. So whenever I'm in that zone, I know that she's the one person to call. So I also do have like people and, you know, around me, may not be friends or whatever, that I can reach out to. But the people that are there in my life right now, they are serving the purpose that they are there for. I feel like it, you know, and should it come to a point where those relationships end very well, you know, for the most part of it, now that they are here, I am enjoying and I have like maximized them. I'm using them to their fullest potential and not using in the sense of like using. But the fact that you're here in my life and you and I spend so much time together, I always say this to you, Hori, let's make the most of this moment, you know, because we don't know like how is it going to change exactly. Things may be different tomorrow, but for now, for today, let's be happy today, and tomorrow will see itself through, man.
Do you feel like the people that are showing up for you also showing up for them? Like, are you reciprocating the same energies that they're reciprocating?
I mean, I try. I try. For the most part of it, I can literally count the people that are there in one hand. And those people, I try to show up, you know, and sometimes I feel like I show up a whole lot more than I should, and then it drains me. And I start feeling like, who helps the helper? Who helps the helper? Which is something that we are going to, you know, touch on more like on another conversation. But I do try. I really do try. And I feel like I am intentional to some extent with showing up, and yeah, man, it would be a thing to say, I don't know. But for me, and the thing is, you could be showing up for someone, right? But if you are not showing up for them how they want you to them it will seem as if you're not showing up. So from my point of view right now, I would say that yes, I do show up. But the conversation could be a different one if I were to sit with them here
From their point
and
of
ask,
view.
yes, and ask Uguti, do you feel like I have shown up for you? Some may say, Hori, I needed you to show up in this way and you were not there. And all along, I'm showing up and it's enough. So I guess it's very subjective to say my point of view. I try showing up as best as I could, and I think maybe it opens room for conversation, like within the relationships that we have, to ask Uguti, how do you need me to show up for you so that you are able to avail yourself to that. I read somewhere, I didn't read somewhere, I saw a video when it says your love language, you're not supposed to love someone how you want to love with your love language. You're supposed to love them with theirs so that they can best receive that love. So if your love language is words of affirmation and mine is gift giving, it doesn't make much of a difference if I'm going to come at you with gifts and I do not affirm you, because yours is words of affirmation. So you feel loved when I come and affirm you, because that's how you receive love. Yes, it may be a love language for me, but give and receive is two different. So I feel like it's very subjective to say I show up, but I know that I do try, and I feel like that's kudos to me for trying. And I wanted to ask you that question, Hori. Do you feel like you show up for your friend and your partner, since those are the two people that you touched on?
To some extent, friendship-wise, I don't think lately I'm showing up as I should be. I feel like I've had those moments, and this is for everyone in my life, those moments of I feel like I've showed up so much for people that they never showed up for me. So it's that thing of each to their own.
Is the friend right now one of the people that you showed up to that didn't show up for you?
No. From
So
day
I
one,
feel like it's very unfair.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, when I self-introspect right now,
It's very
I feel like
unfair.
I've been unfair. I've generalized what people have done to
Yes.
me to everyone. So now it's moments of realization that I'm not being fair on my end. Also, relationship-wise, it's still fresh, but there's
What's still
moments.
fresh?
I'm Jolo. Yeah, go on, yeah. Do you not call that fresh? Yeah, go on.
Hey, me, I'll say fresh until 3 years.
Yeah, man, when I realize relationship-wise, I try. I try when it comes to the relationship aspect. But when it comes to the friendship aspect, I have not been showing up as the best version of myself. And I have not been reciprocating the energies that have been reciprocated to me.
No, man, do better. I
need
mean,
to.
For the fact that you sit here and you speak so beautifully about how she avails herself and how she shows up, I feel like she deserves just as much. She deserves just as much love, just as much presence, just
That
as
she's
much of
giving.
your time. So do better. Like friendship, as they say, is such a beautiful concept. So treasure it, man. The fact that like you have someone who's there, fully there for you. Like treat her right, man. Like show up. Yes, that you've been hurt, but not by her. So do not bleed on her when she was not the one who cut you in the first place. So yeah, man, it's been a nice conversation.
Definitely has been.
I fought a good fight of holding my tears back.
Tisha Ilikai producer.
Producer,
You
Rekopati.
used to do better. How about we
We're literally doing this.
gangan.
Ganti, you're trying to stop the tears.
from
No,
holding.
man. But then, I mean, it's been a lovely, conversation just touching on, what mental health looks like for us now and leaving the past. Yes, we've touched on the past, but that has been for context. So thank you so much again for your vulnerability,
Thank
for
you.
your honesty, and for leading this conversation with grace.
Amen.
Until next time.
Peace.
So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe. Do the things that YouTube viewers do, please. Until next time, bye.